The sad story of 26-year-old Priyanka Reddy in 2019 led all of India to more protests and amendments to the law. The story of how a young girl was raped by 4 men, and then to get rid of her, they set her body on fire and threw her off a bridge. Enjoy watching. Hyderabad is the capital and largest city of the state of Telangana, India. November 27, 2019, 9:15 p.m. Can you hear me? My scooter has a flat tire, and I'm going to be a little late. Priyanka complained to her sister over the phone. The truck driver said he'd help me. Take a cab, said her sister. I think I can fix it. I'll be right there. An hour later, the girl did not return home, at which point her family called her. After several fruitless attempts, the parents called the police. After calling her sister at 9:15 p.m., she could not be reached, and at 11:00 p.m., her father contacted the police. At that time, investigators thoroughly interviewed the family and concluded that Priyanka had eloped with her boyfriend. This angered the relatives, who insisted that the case be investigated immediately. As a result, the police, along with the parents, arrived at the parking lot at 3:00 in the morning, where Priyanka had called from. Neither the girls nor the scooter were found. After combing the area and reaching the bridge 30 kilometers from the paid parking lot, the police found what appeared to be a man. The charred body was found under the Chatinpally Bridge in Shatnagar. A Ganesha medal was visible on the neck, and 70% of the body was covered with burns. A broken scooter was found 10 kilometers from the body. Near the pay parking lot, police found Priyanka's clothes, purse, shoes, and a bottle of liquor described by her parents. The bodies were immediately sent for forensic examination, and police began searching for the perpetrators. Human rights activists realized that they themselves could be accused of negligence. It was already chilly outside, and Priyanka decided to finish the last business and hurry home. Leaving her scooter in the paid parking lot, the girl caught a cab to reach the dermatologist's office in Hyderabad at 6:15 p.m. While Priyanka was waiting for transport, she was spotted by 4 men, 2 truck drivers and their 2 assistants. The men were drinking in the truck, and one of them saw this beautiful woman. "Look at this girl," the young driver said to his colleague. "What are you doing there at a time like this?" "You don't have a chance," he scoffed. "I'm sure she'll come to us herself. I just need your help." Once Priyanka was out of sight, the 4 men walked up to her scooter and slashed the tires. The young men laughed and anticipated what would happen next. Already at 9:10 p.m., the girl returned to the parking lot and found that there was no air in the tires. Frustrated, Priyanka tried to fix the problem herself, not even noticing that the 2 men were hiding behind the bushes a short distance away from her, giggling and drinking whiskey. "What's going on?" The truck driver and his friend approached the girl. "Good evening. Yes, there is something wrong with the wheel. Don't worry, we can help you." "Thank you," I replied with a smile and stepped aside to call my sister and tell her I was going to be late. "You have a flat tire. I'll get it." "Will it work? I think I should call a cab after all." "It's all right." The driver interrupted her abruptly, grabbing her roughly under the elbow. "There's a spare tire in the bushes over there." "What? Where are you taking me?" Before she knew it, Priyanka was behind a tall bush surrounded by a group of unfamiliar boys. They jumped on her like animals, threw her on her back, and pinned her to the ground. Some held her by both arms, others by both legs. A frightened Priyanka screamed and tried to call for help, but the driver put a bottle of whiskey in her mouth and poured the liquor over the girl. She couldn't scream, struggled to swallow the whiskey, and thrashed hysterically while the guys tore her clothes off. The drivers began to rape the poor girl until they gave in to their friends. They took turns raping her, with one holding her while the other raped her. After satisfying their hunger, the guys decided the girl was dead and began to pack their bags. However, Priyanka regained consciousness and tried to get up, struggling with the pain. They wrapped her in a blanket, threw her into a truck, and drove away from the scene. Around 2:30 a.m., they dumped the body under a bridge, doused her with gasoline, and set her on fire. 4 men between the ages of 20 and 26 were arrested based on evidence gathered from surveillance cameras and the victim's cell phone. On December 1, 2019, the Telangana Chief Minister ordered an expedited court to try those accused of the crime. Anti-rape protests were organized across the country, including in major cities. They demanded safe lives for their mothers, wives, sisters, and daughters. Police were transporting the accused from Shadnagar police station to Hyderabad prison when protesters began throwing stones at the police vehicle. The police had no choice but to use force and push back the crowd with batons. The mother of 2 of the detainees is convinced that her son must be punished if the investigation proves his involvement in the crime. Together with the 4 suspects in Priyanka's murder, the police came to the bridge where the boys burned her. They had to show them what had happened. A crowd of outraged citizens crowded outside the site of the investigative experiment. The cops looked at them curiously, uncuffed the murderer, and quietly said, "Don't be afraid." They started walking tentatively toward the crime scene. Their knees trembling, they were afraid of being caught up and attacked by the mob. They waddled toward the crime scene, their knees trembling for fear of being overtaken by the mob. "Run. Don't just stand there. Run." The terrified killers did not move, but the officers quickly drew their pistols and shot the fugitives. This act caused a storm of joy among the protesters. The court found the deceased guilty, and the case was dismissed. The people of India were satisfied with this verdict. Rape is a serious problem in India, with statistics reporting a case of rape every 15 minutes. Victims are often seriously injured and killed with extreme cruelty, and after a particularly brutal rape in Delhi in 2012, authorities have tightened the law, and the number of police reports has steadily increased.